That's dandy, thank you.
Oh, man. Carol. So dilapidated.
Well, the price. You know.
This is that time.
And told Tracy. And He was supposed to be here tonight. But I have a training next Monday for, nothing, just sixes, so we gotta swap. So it means that.
No time. How are you doing, Alan?
All right. Is she recording that?
Are you recording? My mistake. I'm recording.
How you doing?
Good.
Enjoying the weather.
Yeah, it's nice out there. Seems like it's either winter or summer. Wow.
I had a real.
It's electric. Kill me. Saw a movie. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember
And
the
she was
event.
killed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty good. It's only an hour and a half.
By a competitor.
Well, it's
Uh
actually, okay. So the number one Jeff Gravel rider, he won Dirty Kansas
huh.
a couple times.
Uh-huh.
He was dating this gal. I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
right.
He was dating this gal
Mm-hmm.
and they were on again, off again,
Mhm.
break up 3 or 4 times. And she was kind of her business manager and they still lived together even when they broke up,
Mm-hmm.
but lived in
Yeah.
2 different bedrooms.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he kind of started seeing cyclists.
Okay.
He didn't see her.
Uh-huh.
Kind of played,
Yeah.
Yes, I haven't been.
didn't see her, then he saw her again. She was,
Oh, we didn't appreciate that, huh?
she was killed her.
Oh,
Got her in the head.
oh my God.
She really wasn't, she
Yeah.
was a writer too.
Yeah,
but She wasn't,
a racer.
she wasn't really top level.
I kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, vaguely remember the event.
Me too. My wife
Yeah.
said, you need to watch this.
Yeah.
You know, you like writing. and so,
Yeah.
Okay, let's watch it.
Yeah, okay. You
It was pretty good.
Okay, so if you could email them as a sign.
I was down there last week.
You'll have to watch it, Austin.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, it's a good story though.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Hey,
Alan.
There you go.
Hey. So you
We make it big.
Oh, you're the chair.
I was looking for.
Good.
Take me out there.
I go.
Yeah, we change every month.
Getting ready to wrap it up, right?
Yeah.
I
know.
I guess probably tired of hearing this from me.
Everything from, and
Oh, no,
return
take
from
it.
spring break to graduation.
Yes.
Okay. Didn't know how much you're gonna be here, so.
I go through waves.
Did you print all
I
out?
feel good about.
Well, I did, I brought my tablet just in case. we did that.
You know, I don't know.
Do you know Tracy Allen?
Have not met her,
Kids.
email exchange.
Yeah.
Close to in prime of life.
No.
You too. Thank you.
I'm doing this. How about yourself? What was this? Surgery. You were talking to JB?
Oh, actually,
So it's happened to know, parking lot, so we'll probably get here. I've coming the last several months, I've been coming. Parking lot through the barn, I've got it.
Yeah.
You know.
Had you had.
Yeah, I
Yes.
did.
Yes. Or you get an email.
Then I went to a hard, sorry, all of this. That was cross paths. Cross paths. Might be some luck there. Yeah.
So.
Have you ever had one?
Right away.
I had a stress test.
Oh, I had.
One time where.
Oh, yeah, so you had stress test.
Okay.
This is the first time.
Yeah.
I had a stress test.
Trying to make it easier for you.
Maybe 50 years ago now, something like this. Sometimes
Sign.
I just, I don't know, I passed out.
You open it together for me.
Yeah. And I actually have. I never got it.
No, I brought my children.
And I went in on a stress test.
So,
He said.
it was like, system in, and then I.
Blood pressure medication.
Go ahead.
Well, I didn't really consider it.
Treating myself.
They didn't say.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I left it in my vehicle.
But no, I just, so it wasn't,
Yeah.
it wasn't an emergency.
No.
thing, it was a
I
preventative
wanted a
thing.
clean
I said,
break. Nobody accusing me of anything.
And it was.
It was, yeah, well, it was more than I expected. I, in the recovery room, I asked him, well, so how long before I could buy? EA, that there was, one that said 10 days.
How are you? I'll just sit up here and you let me know when you're ready for me.
I'd say 5, but frankly, I really didn't feel like it. Here. And, you know, sensitive, you know, and it's, you know, it's in the artery.
Yeah.
So it's not something you want to play with.
No,
It's
no.
Spring a leak.
Well, but the difficulty was just recovering from
Yeah.
the surgery, the
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
No,
you couldn't do it.
Yeah, I would just, the incision, basically.
Well, I mean, I'm glad the car's doing fine.
It is. It's-
Oh, yeah.
Maybe this one. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I'm sorry. I am.
Okay, you listened.
There you go. There you go.
Yes.
That's the telltale sign.
I've come to the school, I said. Sometimes the parking lot's full.
Full,
Yes.
I mean, aside from the email that Lizette sent out, I wasn't even aware. Yes. I mean, now that I think about it, you're right. It's the March, but no, I'm not aware. But you're right.
Not good.
So I knew about.
How are you?
I'm fine, Jamie. How are you?
This is,
Andrew and John, right?
yep. This is Dave Stanton.
Hey, you, John.
Hi, I'm Andrew. It's great to meet you.
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Really sad.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, I assume that when just because Kim shared the news.
Yeah.
Everybody on the SID.
Okay.
And so we knew that this thing had bubbled up and that there's gonna be a workshop on it. My assumption, and that kind of confirms with, so that conforms with what you just said. That this was a holdover from later, that we had somebody do some study and
It's a. That's what widen.
But everybody else, by surprise, everybody by surprise, and which was the song. But I didn't know.
It's just a, never know.
Yes, there have been some observation. Staff the actual stat on. So I said, you get this right up, I can't you get this right up, said that Stephanie.
No, when I saw on the agenda, thanks to Al Bean, I was thinking, am I one of the-
So it's technically you're getting sworn in again.
Yeah, I, right after baby was, let me see, Nelson.
Still involved?
Yeah, get back to that.
Who's busy holding over?
Yeah.
It's just true.
Yeah.
That's good. Knew each other through, you know, you can see you have place me. She's supposed to.
Oh my gosh, I'm at the church.
Yeah.
Busy guy between, council and.
So,
Full-time jobs,
2 jobs. All my friends are retiring. I got 2 jobs.
2 jobs.
All my friends, like Andrew.
And I started to work, right, last Monday? Yeah.
They're good tempo. Guy, get on board. That's comfortable.
Um,
That's right.
A couple of bankers.
That's
all
not-
like, and did a lot of risk management.
We lost.
Kind of all of them. I wrote several years, Simmons for several
This
years,
is
I
really
worked
bad.
at Price for several years.
They don't have flip back and forth with that.
So kind of all over, we're always in Wichita, but
Vacancies.
then, was retired. Or so. A year and a half ago.
Sal,
So,
he said, we.
Enough to do, I think.
I am.
And I came to join.
Close. Yeah.
Give us access to the board.
To give us access, I just say.
I mean, I think we could do some stuff.
There was no.
They reviewed these findings. There was no.
I thought you were talking about like, other details. But the stuff, yeah. The staff just, they had some stuff, that they were talking points that they gave. How do you say his name?
Yeah, that's why
They gave that.
giving your appropriate space.
Yeah, like, this was in the inbox. That was-
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't judge you. And you're funny. So you got to.
Go out and say the top.
Somehow.
I have hundreds. Yeah. Somebody said something to somebody one time. That's after it says-
I mean, like spice.
Oh, well, it makes it sound a little bit nicer.
That's right.
A substitute.
Oh.
I'm substitute. Sorry. Yeah. But yes, I.
I don't doubt that at all.
Online meeting access information.
Good to see you.
Well, I'd like to see just decisions. on both of these.
I'm very quick.
Still out there.
It was just.
No.
Very
No.
good.
That's just-
I'm just trying to lean in and sense make that big.
I don't know.
Go dinner.
That's so good. Cancer charity. I can.
All right, everybody, good evening. Welcome to the District 5 Advisory Board meeting. My name is Grace Point, and I'll be serving as your pro tem for District 5 Council Member JP Johnston. So I'd like to go ahead and call to order for this meeting and then pass it on over to JP for some recognition of some outgoing board members and welcoming some ones.
Okay, I see Sierra's here. Sierra's on her board. 10 years. She's also on the Airport Advisory Board. We'd like to thank her for her service to our board. We appreciate it very much and everything you do for Wichita.
I was really well, because it was not the easiest board member to corral. And keep under control. So this is for you guys, future members. Here is a short leash. There you go. There's your short leash. I know. That's what I said. Need that from me, actually.
You can pick out which one you want.
Oh, okay.
There's two different. Let you in.
You have to do the work.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Symbol in
Okay.
there. Or this.
Oh, wow. Oh, this is hard. You should, okay, I will take that one. Separate, yeah.
Okay.
You guys got to do it.
Here you go. Here's your bag.
Paper the planes.
Yeah, you are. Thank you.
I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, you're-
Why so? I enjoyed it so much.
Thank you for your.
Yes, absolutely.
Right, yes.
That's great.
Oh, yes. It's on here too. I'd like to welcome two new board members. One of them, John Oswald, who retired from the airport as an engineer. So also on the transit board. I appreciate that. Appreciate John joining us. And the second person is Andrea Scarpelli. So I've known Andrea for a long, long time. How long?
On time.
Long time. But she's also a person that through the years of Constance, she was our banker and I would bounce ideas off her about life and business and a lot of different things. So
We're both still alive.
we're both still alive. She's retired and I'm not. But we're also on the library board. So appreciate you joining also. Thanks to both of you.
Thank you guys for your service. So up next, we have our oath of office, with city clerk. Jenny.
If everybody can just raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Kansas, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the District 5 Advisory Board for the city of Wichita, Kansas, so help me God. Perfect. And then there's papers for you to sign. Just get them back to Teresa. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm impressed you have that memorized. Yeah. Also, Stacy is also leaving the board and we'll get her, I thought she was here tonight, but we'll get her her gift. I thank her for her service too. Thank you.
So, we are moving right along to the approval of our agenda. Were there any notes for the board? No, okay. Can we go ahead and get an approval of the minutes for March 2nd, 2026, as long as everybody's had the moment to review them?
So moved.
Right.
All right, so that's the approval for the minutes. Moving straight on, so we've got our public agenda. Excuse me. Can we get the approval of the minutes? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.
I think I should abstain because I wasn't a member last.
That's for the agenda for today.
I thought I heard minutes. My apologies.
Should be agenda. We have to do the minutes.
Yeah.
I won't say minutes.
So can I, get an approval for the minutes, excuse me, for March 2nd?
Second.
Thank you. Okay, now moving right along to the public agenda. Any scheduled items? Oh, excuse me. Oh, my goodness. All in favor, say aye. My goodness. Thank you. Now we're moving straight along to our public agenda. It doesn't look like we have any scheduled items. So at this time, if any off-agenda items, any individuals who are present who did not request to speak on the public agenda prior to the meeting may speak at this time. If the item is not already on the agenda. Recommended action is to receive and file. Go ahead and get a motion.
Motion to receive and file.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Great. We're going to receive and file. So we'll move right along to the board agenda. So this is updates, issues, and reports. So this is an opportunity for Councilmember Johnston and District 5 Advisory Board members to report any activities, events, or concerns in the neighborhood and council district.
Okay. Thank you, Grace. First of all, our District 5 breakfast, move it up a week. It's going to be May 9th, right here. My wife will make the breakfast. I'll make the bacon. So we'll have that 9 to 10 to 10:30 or in that range. So that will be our opportunity to have people come and get input on a possible sales tax. What they liked about it, what they didn't like about it, how they'd like to see it framed up, what they'd like to see it framed up for, just any input. And we'll work with the framework, and we'll also advertise on Facebook to try to get people here, try to get input. Love to have all of you come. It is really nice. So love to have you come. Again, that's a Saturday, May 9th at 9 a.m. Secondly, the West Fire Station has some soil issues. So apparently when they did the soil testing, we were in the middle of a drought. Thought the soil was fine. When we had all those record rains last spring, it all drained right through there and soaked that ground. And it seems that ground is not as stable for a building. So it's basically going to take $60,000, $70,000 more. Go in and take some dirt out, put some more dirt in, then reroute how that land drains. So it's also going to put it back about 4 weeks. So, it's been delayed for years. What's another 4 weeks, right? So we will get that someday. I also want to give you an update on Second Light. Yep, a lot of people on Second Light, they have a plan and they're implementing the plan. And that is to get people from being unhoused, get them stabilized, then get them the services they need, whether it's mental health or substance abuse services. And then at the same time they're doing that, make sure they get to their appointments, get them, look for a place for them to get housed affordable housing, and when they're ready, also a job. So they've already had a couple success stories, kind of pilot programs, but right now the space is finished. They've taken ownership of it just in the last week or two. So it's up, it's going. Now I just have to execute the plan. So they do have funding problems. The sales tax did not pass. Basically, they need about $4 million a year to operate. The city has $250,000 in budget for Second Light. We can't let this fail. We've invested $18 million. If you include the housing next to it, or $29 million we've invested. A huge, huge investment. So I proposed at our retreat that we take money out of reserves. Take a couple $1 million, one time only, out of reserves. Then Maggie Ballard recommended that we give it to them if they could match it, $2 million. That'd be their $4 million. I thought that was a good idea. So I think most council members are supportive of that, but we'll see. So we'll see. Anyway, Just want to keep you updated on that. But there is a plan. We are executing it. I know everybody doesn't really like the plan and it will have to change over time. But they'll change it, adjust it, and keep getting towards functional zero. It's gonna be a long road, but we can get there. I'm convinced of it. Any questions?
2 mil out of the reserves is the proposal. What's the balance of the reserves roughly?
I have to check.
I'm just curious.
It's over 10. I mean,
Percentage would be.
we've got a pretty good reserve. So total reserves for everything is 8 million, but some things like the water, they have to maintain a reserve. So I would say unrestricted reserves, somebody come out of it. So it'll also hurt our interest income, which is a big revenue source. So it's a balance.
Match could be from any other source, besides city funds.
I think so.
If the county offered up to, that's adequate or that not?
County has shown no willingness to do that, to give any money. State of Kansas has shown no willingness to give any money. 20% of the people at Second Light are from outside Sedgwick County. Western Kansas, Southeast Kansas, all the way up to Saline and Kansas City. 20% are from outside Wichita. So we're a regional center for handling homelessness. We should get some funds from the county and state. It's my opinion. So far, there's been no willingness to do that. So have to keep trying to work those and make our case. I think a lot of them aren't aware how many people are coming to Sedgwick County. And Director of Second Light made a good point. Says every time the news media has a story on Second Light, it broadcasts out to Southeast and Western Kansas. So they thought, oh, we don't want that. We'll just send them there. So. Any other questions?
So this is for Second Life. This is not the affordable housing.
This is just for Second Life. Not for affordable housing.
And I think it's fair to say that while Second Light is the entity that runs the shelter and manages the co-management of services or the delivery of shared services, there are as many nonprofits as there were who are also sitting there every day and using their own dollars and their own budgets to fund their own operations. It's an amazing place to put all of it together.
It is. There's been one of them that's chosen not to partner with Second Light. In the middle of that, trying to figure that out. Actually had lunch today, another meeting today, trying to figure that out and get them together. Nobody's not really happy with what's going on, but when you have that many entities, always gonna be somebody that's not happy. So just have to keep working at it and get them to work together. That's, any other questions? Thank you.
Okay, so we'll move right along to staff reports. So first we have our police department report with community policing officer.
Welcome. My eyes on. I'm Officer Kimry. I am mostly District 5, so I have all of 199 and 19 beats, so that's pretty much all of District 5. So I know we always talk about Second Chance Thursday coming up, but I kind of wanted to give you some statistics about, we just had one. So I wanted to give you some numbers about our last one. So we had 155 people come in. We had it at the Carrboro Community Center. We had 55 warrants addressed, so they were either given a new court date or they could arrange with the court to pay them off. We had 132 people seen by the DMV, and out of all those, 31 got their restricted license, and once those fines are paid off, they will get their valid license back. And then 12 reinstated DLs, so they're completely valid. So we helped a lot of people get back on the street driving legally. So I don't know if you guys ever hear about those stats, but that's kind of what we did. Per the actual statistic for the city or for District 5, the only thing that was really up was the sexual assault and the domestic violence. So it was all known offenders, either spouses, boyfriends, something like that. So it wasn't any kind of stranger related incidents. I wanted to let you know that mail thefts are a little bit on the rise in District 5, and a lot of these are occurring after midnight. So that means people aren't getting their mail and taking it in overnight. So people are going around checking mailboxes that are unlocked and getting people's information. And then now we have identity theft. And especially since we're almost done with tax season, but that information is still being sent out in the mail. I think that's why they're checking. So please remind everybody to check their mailboxes before they go in at night, because they are stealing it overnight. And sometimes it's just a whole stack of mail. They just leave it in there all week. So just a friendly reminder about that. Also, we are now moving on to citing people for illegal vehicles on the street, mostly juveniles. We continue to educate, but if they've already been educated, we're now citing. So if they're under 14 and they're not capable of getting a license, the parent is getting a ticket for allowing an unlicensed driver to operate a motor vehicle. And these are like the mini bikes, the Polarises, all those little things you see them scooting around on in the street. If they're over 14 and they don't have a valid driver's license, they will be issued one by the state to get a ticket, and it's automatically suspended. So we're trying to educate parents that this is a big deal, because if we do give them a ticket, they're going to have to figure out a way to get that driver's license unsuspended once they do start driving a vehicle. So we want to remind everybody about that too. Like I said, we're still continue to educate, but if people have already been educated, they continue to violate these ordinances, we are starting to move to the citation stage. So that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Does that include golf carts?
No, this is just the mini bikes, the Polaris, all the illegal vehicles, period, no matter how old you are. Yep. But the golf carts are being addressed if you're under 16 and unlicensed as well, because you can't drive those unless you're 16 and have a license. So those are also being educated and cited. We haven't done any golf cart citations yet for under 16, but we are educating the parents for sure. So. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, up next, we have our fire department report. So that is Battalion Chief Ritter. Superintendent District 5.
Good evening. I'm Pete Ritter. I'm Battalion Chief out west here. Yeah, you guys got to help me out. District 5 is quiet, so that's good. That's good. So we don't have a Cargill in our area, which consisted of a 100-foot soybean dryer that happened on March 9th. Concrete structure, it went second alarm, additional units came into it. We ended up setting a truck up with the extended tower platform, shooting the water in from up high. But due to the damage, the under concrete below, the structural became unstable as the walls started pushing in on it. And so we went completely defensive on it. It's just a matter of flow water through the top of it at that point. So that went on for a day and a half or two. So if you followed the tracking, everything, you probably heard fire units or the news was saying fire units are back out there. That's the reason why we couldn't go in and aggressively mop it up. We just had to fight it from the outside. So then on the March 20th, we had the the train derailment up north, which shut down I-135. I'm sure a lot of you guys heard that. Affected probably a lot of travel. A lot of hazards that came along with that wreck, because we're dealing with train cars, could carry hazardous materials. These actually had vehicle and automotive parts on it. So then not only did we have the train derailment, the pillars that were damaged with the overhead traffic, and we could have possibly had the electric vehicle batteries, which could go into thermal runoff, and then it would have been a big mess. So crews had to overcome quite a bit of hazards on that one to make sure it's under control. But as I said, it was resulted in the northbound lanes and everything being shut down for a while. I believe they had one open within a couple days, and then on the 25th, we had the Joyland fire. Joyland is still giving our crews a problem. Basically when it closed, everybody pulled out of there, and I made the wacky shack. I made, all the things when I was a kid. I ended up making them on fire again when I was stationed out east. So it's kind of I was ready for that to go down just to be bulldozed. But District 5 is quiet, like I said. Not a lot to talk about fire-wise, which is good. Last month, this kind of covers the March up to April. Time change happened. remember to replace your batteries and your smoke detectors and everything else is kind of my safety message. But outside of that, does anybody have any questions for me? All right, thank you so much.
This is Wesley's Bridge Manager, Tracy Bridge. It's going to report on events and programs going on in the library. Welcome, Tracy.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about is the Westlink branch's reopening anniversary. So the Westlink branch originally opened on Central in 1964, and then we opened here on Beckmeyer in 1981, and then we closed for a couple of years and reopened here. I apologize, March 24th, 2025. Okay, so we've now been reopened at our current site for a year. So to celebrate this momentous occasion, one of the things that we did is we actually gave our customers the opportunity to identify past, present, and future special things about the library. So I wanted to share a couple of things that like memories that our customers had about our library. So we asked, what's your favorite Westlink branch memory? And one of our customers put, I loved being a team volunteer growing up. The librarians were very influential. I have enjoyed watching my own kids love the same library I did growing up. And we had several individuals who had kind of like that story because we have been around for so long. Another individual indicated that like their favorite memory was showing the remodel to their husband for the first time. So that was very exciting. We also asked that like represented our past, but our present is what do you love about the Westlink Branch Library now with the remodel that we did? And one person put, this is my happy place. It always lightens me up to come here. And then I liked this one because it's about an individual who moved from North Carolina to Wichita, Kansas. We just moved from North Carolina and could not love a library more. The staff, the building, the abundant amenities, everything is the best. So it was just rewarding to see that positive input from our community. So that's one of the things we did to celebrate our reopening anniversary. We also did facts about the animals in our artwork. We identified the top 100 books in honestly practically every category within our collection. We also had a jigsaw puzzle created of our library. It's a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle, so you could put that together anytime you come. And then another thing that we did is one of our staff is a really good artist. And so what she did is she actually made outline bookmarks so that people could actually color them. And on one side, it has pictures of things that the library has in it. And on the other side, it has facts about our library for the last year. So I want to share we've had over 135,000 visitors this year. We have actually issued 3,000 library cards here, 3 new ones. We have actually checked out 227,000 materials here. 42,000 of those were picture books. That's like our highest category. But surprisingly, the second highest category is actually adult fiction. So, you know, adults are giving those little kids a run for their money, which is fabulous. We also have checked out roughly 3,000 collaboration study rooms. Before we were remodeled, we only had 1 study room. We had 3 tables there and people had to share it in order to get some quiet. And now we have 3 study rooms, 2 collaboration rooms. So we have more opportunities for people to get what they need when they come here. And then the final thing is we have distributed roughly 360 dog treats through our drive-through because we have people who actually, they come just to get a dog treat. Okay, they know that they don't have anything to pick up, but their animals love them so much that they come through the drive-through. So I wanted to share that because I think that it's really important. I do also want to let you know that April 17th, we anticipate being close to have our skylight actually replaced. I am saying that the 3rd time is the charm because we have actually set 2 other dates before this, but because the conditions were unsafe, the wind was actually too much to safely operate a crane. We've had to reschedule it. This is our third time. So everyone hope for sunny skies, low winds, so that on the 17th, we can actually have that crane here and get our skylight replaced. If not, we'll reschedule again and we will make you aware. The other things that I want to mention are system things. So we are now in the middle of our Big Read Wichita. That's where we try and get as many people as possible in the city of Wichita and surrounding areas to read the same book. This year, we are doing the Catalog of Unabashed Gratitude, which is by Ross Gay. It is actually a collection of poetry. And we actually did our kickoff event on March 29th at our Maya Angelou Library, but we're going to be doing events all the way to April 26th. You can actually look at our table outside of the conference room, and it will list some of the activities that we're having, and then also some books that we would love it if you would take home with you today. If you want to get like a complete listing, you can visit bigreadwichita.org and get a complete listing. Another thing that's happening is our Friends of the Wichita Public Library. They are actually partnering with a couple of local breweries in order to get money for the library, in order to fund all of the nice things that we do. So on Sunday, April 12th, the White Crow Cidery is actually doing a commemorative pour for $15, and you get a special pint glass, which celebrates the library's 150th anniversary, because that is what this year is. Then what's going to happen is Central Standard Brewing on April 26th from 12 to 5 is making a special batch called a Bibliomaniac. And they're also going to have library themed merchandise for sale. I also want to mention that we're going to have during National Library Week, an author, Pete Davis, who wrote Dedicated. He is actually going to come and talk with Wichita's Brandon and Danielle Johnson about what commitment looks like in practice. At that author event, we will actually launch the library Civic Action Passport, which we have done in cooperation with the City of Wichita, Kansas Leadership Center, and Lead Wichita. And it's just trying to get people to participate in community life through simple things that you can do, such as attend events, volunteer, engage with local organizations. If you are interested in the Pete Davis event, then you will want to register, and you can do that on our library webpage. And then the final thing that I want to mention is we're having our 4th annual Adult Spelling Bee. And last year I challenged you guys to do it. I don't think you did. Okay. You can participate this year. It's not too late. You can register. You can register up to like an hour before the actual spelling bee occurs. And you can be a team of 1, or you could be a team of up to 4. Okay. And basically what it is a single error elimination round. You make an error, then unfortunately you're out. And then it's just the last one standing. You do have to register though, because they want to make sure that they have enough seats. Does anybody have any questions? That was even more information than normal. Okay. One thing that I want to do, I come this way, is I made little coloring kits for you so that you can color bookmarks, because it's supposed to help with your stress. And who doesn't need help with their stress?
Not so much stress when we get in house.
One for work, one for home.
You?
Tracy. Thank you, Tracy. That's so
Are
sweet.
you gonna judge our coloring?
You know,
Thank
we don't judge anybody. Coloring, however you do it is fabulous.
Thank you, Tracy.
You are so welcome.
Thank you so much, Tracy.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, I'm so sorry, Gary. That's a hard one to top, but Gary Harris from,
Reggie Davis.
oh, excuse me, Reggie, oh my gosh. Hi, Reggie.
Big
Hello.
Big boss.
Good evening, welcome.
Good evening. Good to be here. That's a tough act to follow. I didn't bring any coloring books or anything tonight. I want to give a few updates on some things that we have going on with the department. We currently have over 30 positions that are available between full-time and part-time. So if you know of anyone that's looking for employment, please send them to wichita.gov/park jobs. We are transitioning to open streets. First one is going to be coming up on April the 19th in conjunction with WSU and Shocker neighborhood. It'll be from 12 to 4 from 17th Street, on 17th Street from Oliver to Volusia. Expecting a big turnout for it, like we do every year. A really great partnership with WSU to be able to activate that space for people to get outside and enjoy live entertainment and local vendors and physical activity. So that website, if you want to get additional information, it's openstreetsict.com. So we also have our Evolve Guide that's open right now that you can actually go out and look at our spring programming that's currently open. I know that I've mentioned before that our flag football league is doing extremely well. We broke our last year record this year with the number of participants that we have that's in the program. So we have over 700 people that's going to be in our flag football program, and it's getting a lot of momentum with that being added as an Olympic sport. So continue to grow that and getting a lot of participation as well with partnership with USD 259. We have our big golf tournament that's coming up at Auburn Hills, our Folds of Honor golf tournament that's on the Memorial Day. It's a 4-person shotgun scramble that's for fallen heroes and their families. So encourage people to come out and participate in that. Also, we're planning now for our summer camp programming. Our summer camps are opening up now with registration. We're also preparing for our pools to open, and that's in conjunction with here at Harvest. So if you know for young people who are looking for summer employment to work at our pools, please send them our way. We do all of the training and certification for that as well. We're also in the midst of our park master plan. So we started that back in the fall of last year and looking to have that completed by the fall of this year. And our steering committee met on last week with the consulting firm and starting to gather a lot of the data that we got from our statistically valid survey of what the community wants to see in our park system and how we invest our dollars moving forward. So if you want to look and see what those updates are, and any information that's been collected from that is on our website as well that you can look at, that you can view there with, excuse me, look for our park master plan that's there, and you can see all of that data that's a part of that you can review to see what's been collected. And another unique portion of it we encourage the community to do as part of that is that we have what's called social pinpointing on the site, where you can actually go into different parks or locations and put feedback directly there on what you want to see, how we invest our dollars in that area. So please encourage people to go out and look at that so that we can have good data that we can use as we move forward with planning for our park system for the next decade. So I'll stand for any questions if you guys have any. All right, thank you guys again. Please send people our way for important.
Thank you, Reggie.
Action is to receive and file. Can you go ahead and get a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
For our new business this evening, Christina Reed from the Metropolitan Area Planning Department is going to present the zoning case for the District 5 Advisory Board from Invest Brigham LLC, the applicant.
That's all.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Christina Reed with planning staff here to present Zone 2607. The applicant for this case has 2 requests. The first one is a zone change request from 2 family to limited commercial, and the other is to remove the existing protective overlay from the subject site. And it's about 3.5 acres in size. This is on the east side of North 135th Street West, within 500 feet north of West Central Avenue. So the applicant is requesting this zone change for commercial development. This would introduce new uses on site, namely a limited number of commercial uses and then higher density multifamily development. The development standards would also change. So minimum lot size, front setback, maximum height, that would be, as you can see in the table below, those would be modified if the zone change request is approved. So there's an existing protective overlay number 407, which limits the 133 acres in which the subject site is located to a maximum of 300 lots or 600 dwelling units. If they're looking to do commercial development, this isn't really applicable, but they still have to remove that protective overlay in order to do the development that they would like to do. The subject site is currently platted as Reserve I of the Bridger Commercial Edition. They're requesting a replat of said reserve for a single lot commercial site. And so this already went to the Metropolitan Area Planning Commission, was approved. It will be required to install screening per section 4B3 of the zoning code. So that would be a 6 to 8 foot solid screening fence on all sides. And then it also it's required to be in compliance with the Wichita Landscape Code. So that would be 1 shade tree, or that's a large tree, or 2 medium-sized trees for every 500 feet of required landscape street yard. And then if there's any parking lots on site, it would be 1 tree per 20 parking spaces. So the Unified Zoning Code has compatibility, height, and setback standards, and essentially to ensure that to continue the harmonious development of the community, it's to prevent really tall buildings from being really close to single family or 2-family houses. So the property is adjacent to 2-family zoning on the north, south, and east sides. And so the compatibility setback is 15 feet plus 1 foot for each 5 feet of lot width over 50 feet. So in no case would the compatibility setback exceed 25 feet. So it can't be more than 25, the minimum setback, the minimum distance between the property line and where you can build can't be more than 25 feet in this case for compatibility standards. And then no structure shall exceed 35 feet in height when you're within 50 feet of a lot line zone TF3 or more restrictive. So again, it's just to prevent really tall buildings from being really close to lower density residential areas. The character of the neighborhood is mostly low density residential with commercial zoning nearby at the arterial intersection. So to the north, it is zoned TF3 and it's currently a vacant lot, but I believe it is slated for complex or residential development. To the south and east is also zoned 2-family and is developed with a reserve, which is, for drainage purposes. And then to the west is zoned planned unit development and is developed with a reserve for another residential development. So in 2023, the zone change was approved from single family in the county to TF3 with the protective overlay. And then in 2023, the subject site was annexed into the city of Wichita. And then in 2024, it was platted. The site has access to North 135th Street West, which is a 4-lane county arterial street with no sidewalks. The requested zoning is in conformance with the community investments plan. When we take a look at the community investment plans, Wichita Future Growth Concept Map, which I'm going to show you here on the screen here. So this is essentially part of the comprehensive plan that has been vetted by planning department that's been approved by city council. Everything that you see with the stripes there, that is for residential and employment mix. And so that's areas of land that will be likely be developed or redeveloped with uses predominantly of a mixed nature. So what we're seeing here is a commercial use next to residential uses. So we're seeing that mixed use development happening there. And then the community investment plan also has a list of locational guidelines that provide a decision-making framework regarding land use changes. And so one of the land use compatibility guidelines states that residential and non-residential development areas generally should be separate and distinct with appropriate screening and buffering to ensure compatibility among land uses while maintaining connectivity. So this will be required to screen. They will be required to have landscaping. And so that will ensure compatibility between the commercial and the residential uses. And it will establish that sort of distinction between the two. So staff is recommending approval of the zone change request, and this is based on the golden factors. So if you guys, for those of you who are new to the district advisory board, there's a list of 8 golden factors that we abide by for every single planning case, and we apply those, like I said, to every planning case. And so I'll let you read through those, but most of the time when we send these reports out, we don't have all of the public comment. So I just skip ahead to the last one. I still have not received any public comment on this. And I think a big part of it is because so for this case, they are required to notify everyone within 350 feet of the subject site. I'm sorry? Oh, okay. So everyone within 350 feet of the subject site is essentially the applicant, and then you have the street, and then you have the reserve for the planned unit development. So it didn't really reach that many homeowners per se. So I'll just scroll down to some of the site photos so you get an idea of where this is. So this is the bridge across 135th Street, if that looks familiar to you guys. This, where my mouse is the other planned unit development where the reserve is. And this is the intersection of Central and 135th. Taking site photos here was very fun. I had to like roll down my window, like drive and like take a picture. It was fun. So with that, I will stand for any questions that you guys have for today. And the applicant is also here in case there's any questions.
Stated that MAPC did hear this case and they accepted it as is.
So this is going to MAPC on April 9th, on Thursday. So you guys are the first people to hear this case. Oh, the plat. I'm so sorry. Yes. So the plat to determine how the land is going to be subdivided, the drainage, the rights of way, that was already approved a few weeks ago.
And that particular situation was also heard by the subdivision committee and they accepted all things as well.
That's correct. Yeah. And things that go through subdivision, so like plats and vacations, those do not come through the district advisory board.
They'll know that this is a commercial.
It depends on the construction timeline, but yeah, I mean, I would say that's a fair assumption. Any other questions? All right, did you have any words that you wanted to say?
State your name and address.
Chad Abbott with Abbott Land Surveying. I'm the agent for the applicant and in agreement with staff comments. I think the only other thing I might mention is, you know, normally this type of commercial zoning might be a little closer to the intersection, but in this particular situation, the creek cuts off, goes right across the north side of that intersection. So that's the reason why on that little map they have the bubble for the solid brown is kind of stops there at that creek. So just a observation, I guess. Other than that, I just stand for any questions.
Chad, you know what the developer's planning and development?
No, he has no plans other than, so there's a piece of, the rest of that's floodplain but there's this chunk right there that is out of the floodplain and it just kind of a perfect spot for an LC type zoning. So being that it's very close to that intersection and adequate room for a variety of, there's about 3.5 acres there, I think. So it's just a one lot plat, subdivision plat.
From the public, the board, recommended action is to approve.
Maybe in terms of the notification process, since I understand this whole area is underdeveloped right now, and I know that residential neighborhood to the north, this proposed commercial plat is rapidly building. I don't think there are any inhabitants. So in the case of the notification, that developer received the notification. Okay, and was silent. Okay. Sure.
With that, Dennis, does anybody want to make a recommended action?
I would move we adopt staff recommendation to approve. Second.
Okay, all in favor, recommend and approve?
Aye.
Same sign. All right, motion passes, and then we're gonna move right along, back to Christina Reed. Going to, High Point Realty referrals, our land survey, starting the zone change request. At 5.
Let's see, they're kind of right next to each other. Okay, there we go. Okay, and let me know if you need it to be smaller.
Oh, no, this is fine. Thank you. All right, for zone 2611, the applicant is requesting a zone change from single family to neighborhood office. This is at 239 North Tyler Road, and it's currently developed with a single family dwelling. They're requesting the zone change in order to allow for an office space for your real estate business. So as I mentioned in the previous case, there was limited commercial. The development standards were changed in terms of heights and setback standards and lot width. So it would be the same if the zone change request is approved, and I've provided a table there for you guys for that. However, no individual commercial use that is permitted by right or as a conditional use within the neighborhood office district shall exceed 8,000 square feet of gross floor area. So they plan on putting an office there, which requires 1 parking space per 333 square feet. Solid screening would be required, so that's a 6 to 8 foot solid fence that would be on the north, south, and west sides. And then the Wichita Landscape Code as well, which I mentioned in the previous report. And then we talked about compatibility standards. These would also apply if the zone change request is approved for this site because it is a commercial zoning classification. And then the character of the neighborhood here is a mixture of low density residential, and then there's some civic and commercial properties nearby. So on all sides, it's zoned single family and developed with single family dwellings. But then to the northeast across Tyler Road, they have there's another property zoned neighborhood office, and it's developed with a dental office. And then there's Wilbur Middle School and another property zone neighborhood office about 725 feet to the south, and that would be on the northwest corner of West Douglas and North Tyler Road. So staff is recommending a projective overlay to ensure harmonious compatibility and development. And so this protective overlay essentially would allow the house to remain as it is, have them operate in that single family dwelling as an office. So the property would be developed with a building that has exterior walls of brick or wood or synthetic materials that replicate wood, and then would have a double pitched gable or hip style roof. And then in terms of signage, 1 freestanding monument type sign, not exceeding 6 square feet in height. There are no zoning cases associated with this property. And the requested zoning is actually in partial conformance with the community investments plan. So I'll scroll down to the Wichita future growth map here. So it does recommend the site is appropriate for residential uses. However, based on the proximity of other commercial uses and property zone neighborhood office, the proposed zoning and use is appropriate for the subject property, and the recommended protective overlay is designed to maintain that residential character of the area. And then the locational guidelines of the community investment plan, one of them states that small neighborhood serving retail and office uses and high density residential uses not located at arterial sections should be limited to the intersection of an arterial and a collector street. So staff is recommending approval subject to a protective overlay, which I mentioned earlier. And this is based on the golden factors. So I have not heard any additional comments from the public about this case since the staff report was prepared. And then I'll show you some of the site photos here. So you can see the house here, or the single family dwelling, sorry. And then here's some photos from Tyler Road. You see some more single family residential, but you can see that the school is up here, and then just some additional single family dwellings. And with that, I will stand for any questions.
It's directly across the street, directly west from where the dental office is, which is right on Tyler. So the dental office is here, and then we're looking at the change to be on the west side of where that dental office is.
Yes.
It's a little bit south,
A little bit south. Okay.
one house south,
One house south, where but we already have a dental office across the street.
kind of catty corner, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one parking space per 300 square feet. How big is this?
I would have to look it up. It does look like a fairly small, I would put this house, just kind of eyeballing it right now, I'd put it around 1,200 square feet, so probably a minimum of 4 parking spaces.
It's 2,000.
It's 2,000 square feet, thank you. So that would be 7 parking spaces, because we round up.
That's
a
Yeah, so, you know.
Do you want to come up here and talk about it? Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Brianna, sorry, I'm a little short for this. I'm Brianna Bernine, co-owner of High Point Realty. My address is 1416 North Blackstone Court, Wichita, 67235. Dennis's neighbor. So we've got 2,000 square feet finished on the main floor. You can see where the Lowe's picture, like that insulation is. That was previously a salon that they operated for almost 50 years, I believe. So our intention is to leave it to look exactly like the house is, besides changing an exterior color that's a little more favorable to the neighborhood, we feel. And then interior wise, we're not taking any walls out. It still looks like a house inside, along with keeping the kitchen, the bathrooms how they are, and just making some nice updates. And the plan for the front is to put in a circle drive. We're taking out what is there currently because it's not in the greatest condition. And then getting that full circle drive, of course, and then getting a curb cut on either side to extend that. So it's a little easier to get in and out of the property. Currently, I mean, we have 17 agents. A lot are part-time, so there's maybe going to be 4 of us coming in and out of the office that are consistently full-time. So hopefully, not a ton of traffic for the neighbors.
So it's gonna be your company there.
Yeah, our company.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, our High Point Realty. Yeah, our real estate office there. Yep. Yes.
Christina, did you see there are other properties on that west side of Tyler that are already zoned commercial?
Yeah, there was one like, would you say 725 square feet away?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna scroll up to the zoning map real quick here. So everything that you, oh, sorry, that's the concept map. Let me try this. So everything that you see in that like peach color is zoned neighborhood office. And then the white is single family and the yellow is zoned 2 family. So there are already commercial properties within the vicinity of this subject site.
The one to the south is a small strip center they built maybe 6-7 years ago. Ish.
Did I hear the applicant say that a curb cuts, that means 2 driveways for 1 lot? Seems like we're reducing that of driveways along busy Tyler.
Well, it's really hard without affecting the landscaping in the front. Our thought was that it would be easier because right there, you do have a stoplight that's just north of it. Just so that people weren't backing out onto Tyler Road in the event. I mean, not that we're going to have a ton of people parking there, but just to try to situate that a little bit better. And so that no one backs onto grass, onto the neighbor's yard, just anything like that. We thought just a half circle drive would be appropriate there to be easier to turn out. Where the driveway is now, it's pretty narrow, so we just wanted to make it a little wider just for people to turn in, especially when you're turning, you're going south on Tyler, and taking a right into that driveway.
So the current driveway is being widened, you're not putting in a second one.
Right, yeah, the driveway's there, just being widened, sorry. Yeah, yeah, and a curb cut on, the south side.
Pardon my ignorance, what's TF3 again?
2-family.
Should we get back these parking spaces, 7?
Yeah, we think so. Because the garage is still, people could park in the garage because it is a 2-car attached garage that's there. That won't be used for anything else but storage. So there would be spots in there that we could pull in. And then we haven't gone too much farther than that, but I would say 7, 8 parking spaces would be plenty for what we need. But yeah, the circle drive is just more for safety coming out onto Tyler.
I have a clarifying question. Did we get any feedback from the north or south neighbors?
The neighbor to the north is gonna mow for us, so hopefully. Yeah, right, no. Oh, sure, yeah. We're gonna employ him already, so.
Great.
Not to coerce him, but.
Does the board have any additional questions? Anybody like to move?
Like to make a motion to approve that recommendation.
Second that motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign.
No.
Great, thank you, Tracy, for being on it. Okay. So, now that we have that recommended action with the approval of the project overlay 477, Ryan Tyree, analyst at the Housing and Community Services Department, is here to give us the presentation on the Housing and Community Services Department on funding priorities for the 3rd year annual action plan. Thank you, Ryan.
No problem.
Good to see you guys.
Made it time.
Few minute nights. From 4, yeah. Okay.
There we go. All right, and the mouse arrows on the
Alrighty. Well, as stated, my name is Ryan Tyree. I'm with the Housing and Community Services Department for the City of Wichita. And I'm here today to talk about the 26-27 Annual Action Plan for Entitlement Grants, CDBG, Home, and ESG. Just click. Oh, okay. Sorry. Just some quick background before we get too deep into it. The city receives an annual allocation of funds for community development activities from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, otherwise known as HUD. These funded activities align with the city's goal of creating a livable and sustainable community, and these funds are used to create strong, sustainable, inclusive communities and affordable housing. So we operate off of 2 different plans with these grants. The first one is called the Consolidated Plan. The Consolidated Plan we put together every 5 years. HUD requires us to put one of those together. Basically, what this does, it identifies community development needs, affordable housing needs, homeless needs, and other priorities within the city structure. Everything that we do during the 5-year period has to align with our consolidated plan. We can't go off of that. You can do what's called a substantial amendment, but for the most part, we're locked in for that 5-year plan there. So, which brings us to the action plan. Every year we have to submit an action plan to HUD. Basically what that does is shows what we're looking to accomplish within the next program year. And so our program year runs from July 1st through June 30th every year. And so that next program year will be the 26-27 program year, and that starts here just in a couple months. Also, the action plan serves as an application for funding for the entitlements grants listed there. Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG, which is what I'll be referring to it as throughout this presentation. CDBG is very flexible. We can use that for a wide range of community needs. It's by far our most flexible grant that we have. The Home Investment Partnerships Grant, otherwise known as HOME, we can only use that for affordable housing needs, so the creation of affordable housing for low-income individuals. And then the Emergency Solutions Grant, or ESG, this is used to address homelessness only. That's all we can use ESG funds for, is homelessness. Planning process, we have a public comment period that we're in right now. That's why I'm here today. It runs for, it has to run for at least 30 days. Our public comment period began on March 27th, and it will run through midnight, May 4th. We will be at the city council meeting that next day on the 5th for council approval. The third program year action plan, which I forgot to mention, we are going into our 3rd year of that 5-year plan that I talked about earlier. But it's due no later than 60 days after HUD publishes final allocations. We just got word of those allocations today, so which is a lot earlier than we had last year. I don't think HUD released them until May of last year, so we just saw those today. So
how much work was it?
We had a small cut in ESG funds. That's, I think it was about a $5,000 cut in ESG. I think in home and yeah, let's see. ESG is 260,932, which is, like I said, close to 5,000 less than it was last time. We actually saw a slight bump in CDBG and home funds. CDBG 2,982,354, and then home was $1,410,000 and 408. I'm sorry, $1,410,408 and 95 cents.
Both those were up.
A little bit up, yeah. Not huge amounts, but yeah. Better than going down. So
you're scared about maybe those going down.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So. So for our 3rd year annual action plan, again, if you guys had the pleasure of hearing this presentation last year we tried something different. Basically, we took all the leftover prior year funding and we pushed all that into the next program year. We're doing that again this time around. So any funds that are not under contract currently that were allocated for previous activities that didn't get realized, we're pushing all that money in to this next action year, next program year. And so you'll see, and I'll show you those totals here in a minute, but that says award amounts have not yet been released. That's not true because we just saw those today, so you can disregard that. And so that was for the purpose of our discussion. We built our plan around just because at the time we didn't know what those amounts would be, so we estimated, and so those are going to change as well to update the totals I just told you about. Sorry. Okay, so we'll start with CDBG. You'll see that 6,350,526 total. That's what I was mentioning. So we had, the allocation amount of 2.9 million. That 2.9. The rest of that is from prior year funding. So a grand total of over $6 million we're putting into CDBG related activities in this next program year. So for CDBG, in order to meet requirements, it must meet one of three, at least one of three national objectives. Benefit low to moderate income individuals. That's what you're going to see most often with our activities and programs. It will all look to benefit low to moderate income. Prevent slums or blights. That's another one that you will see here and there. And then address urgent community needs. We don't see that all that often. That could be like, if God forbid a tornado or something came, we could maybe tap in for an urgent community need. But for CDBG funds, they have to be eligible spending activities. At least 70% of spending must benefit low to moderate income persons. And I'll touch on more here in a minute, but City of Wichita is traditionally public services heavy. Approximately 30% of our award amount for CDBG goes towards public services. Nationally, there's a 15% cap, but here in the city of Wichita, we're actually grandfathered in at that $1.1 million. I have no idea how we got grandfathered in at that amount. It's been like that for a long time. So here in the city of Wichita, we're actually fortunate that we can put forth more funding towards public services activities because of that. And so we'll start with public facilities and infrastructure projects. So we're looking to allocate a little over $3 million towards infrastructure and public facilities projects. 504,000, a little bit over, or a little bit under 505,000. We're looking to go towards the Midtown Lighting Project, which is the neighborhood around the Second Light. We're allocating 95,978 for demolition and clearance. Traditionally, we contract with MABCD, and that funding is set aside for demolition and clearance of blighted structures. So again, we're putting that in the next program year, funding for that. Public facilities, we're looking at 2.4 million allocated for that. 1 million of that is going toward to support construction of the new community center in the Plainview neighborhood. We're setting aside 400,000 for just a to be determined rehab project. Just putting that into the budget, having that money there is a lot easier than trying to find it after the fact. So that's why it's set aside like that. And then 1 million we're looking to allocate towards building non-congregate shelter on the Second Light site. And there's how all those totals on your right hand side of the screen there breaks down. For the
I'm sorry, but while you're here.
Yeah.
Is it unusual to have that much carried forward?
It just depends. Like I said, it just like year to year, you might have, like I said, activities that we've allocated the money for whatever reason, they didn't get put under contract. And so it's for CDBG, we usually, for the most part, we do a really good job of spending that out. And for CDBG, you have 5 years to spend those funds. So this allocation that we're getting, that we just got word of today, like we'll have 5 years to get that money spent out. So you'll have all these prior funding left over from the prior years. And so as long as it's spent out within 5 years, then we're in compliance with HUD regulations and stuff.
So instead of $1 million or 2 million for the multi-agency non-congregate shelter next to
it was $1 million.
$1 million?
Yeah.
Okay. That's already been programmed.
Yeah, that's
they haven't started construction, but they're going to start.
Yeah, it's if I remember right, it was hopefully I can't remember.
They had the groundbreaking like 3 months
ago.
Yeah,
right.
But didn't start.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
Funds, JV and Andrew, maybe you noticed too. Can these funds be used to help with the Second Light money?
No.
Okay. Is this included in your city budget too? Are those your overall city numbers? Is all of this also allocated into it?
Through housing.
It's
Sally and housing.
Okay.
It is.
So for housing activities, the total allocated is just under 1.6 million. The bulk of that's going towards our home repair program. And so you kind of see how that breaks down there. And then again, under the housing activities line item, again, we're setting aside $334,078 for any to be determined projects that could pop up there as well. So. And on the right side of the screen, you'll see how that breaks down. Next, we have administration and planning. So we have to set aside money for admin and planning, obviously. And so total allocated is that $595,600. The bulk of that is for just the regular program administration. And then you'll see that $2,000 at the bottom. Every year we offer fair housing training at our housing conference. And so that housing conference is taking place this fall. And so that's where that'll be going. And you see how that breaks down as well. Public services, this is what I was just mentioning a few minutes ago. So that public services cap is that 1.1 or $1,163,310. So the total allocated is we're basically right up on that there. So 385,000 of that goes towards the Office of Community Services. So that's at Atwater, Colvin, and Evergreen. So that's yeah. So yeah, Teresa. Yeah. But that's how that funding breaks down there. Housing First, we have a full-time Housing First project coordinator in our office, and so that goes to help pay some of her salary and benefits. And then the Way to Work program, $222,500 is being allocated towards that. And so hopefully, I think y'all, probably most of y'all are familiar with that program. It's our summer youth employment program where we have kids ages 14 through 17 that we are able to find jobs within the city. So they work over the summer, get paid. So it's a good program for the youth to get some work experience and also make some money. So, but that's the Way to Work program. So this year we had released a competitive application back. Well, actually, it was in December of 2025. We released a competitive application for public services funding. We had $475,000 set aside for CDBG, and then $50,000 set aside for ESG homeless prevention, which I will talk more about here in just a moment. But keying on that $475,000 for CDBG, we had a total of 10 agencies submit application for that funding. Also in December of 2025, we had the Grants Review Committee assembled. The City Council appointed the Grants Review Committee. And so for those of you that aren't familiar with that, we have a representative from each district. So each DAB board, Mary was grateful and graciously served on that. She was a great asset to that committee this year. So thank you for doing that. But we have a representative from each DAB, and then also USD 259, Wichita State University, largest small business rep, Wichita Independent Neighborhood Association, United Way of the Plains, and Sedgwick County rep. But the task of the GRC is to review applications for those CDBG activities. They made their recommendations for funding. The recommendations, which will be on this next slide, they'll be brought to the City Council on Tuesday, May 5th for final approval. And so with that $475,000, it was broken up. We have 3 domestic violence providers: Catholic Charity Harbor House, Wichita Family Crisis Center, and Stepstone, $50,000 each. We had 1 homeless service provider, United Methodist Open Door, $50,000, and then the rest are youth services providers. So Coleman Kids Club, Kansas Big Brothers Big Sisters, Prime Fits, Youth Foundation, Masters and Mentors, and Wichita Children's Home. And you'll see the individual recommendations for those as well. And as far as public services go, you see on the right side how all that totals up. And moving on to home. So home investment partnerships, again, these funds can be used only for affordable housing and create or fund affordable housing for low to moderate income individuals. And so you'll see the home amount, that's a pretty big amount there, 10 million. So most of that is from the prior year funding there. So we're looking to allocate over $10 million for the home program. And so, home program administration, just like CDBG, we set aside funding for program administration. So you'll see how all that breaks down there. The home ownership program, this is for first-time home buyers. This is down payment assistance for, again, first-time home buyers. The home ARP funds, this funding is for the development of 25. Again, this goes into the 25 units of non-congregate shelter and supportive services. Tenant-based rental assistance, $1.6 million there. And then we have the Housing Development Loan Program, or HDLP, which is $2.9 million. These funds are used by nonprofit or for-profit developers. Again, it's for the development of affordable housing. This can be rental or home buyer units, including rehabilitation and new construction. There is a requirement that a minimum of 15% of the total annual home allocation be set aside for CHODOs, local CHODOs. The set aside is managed within the HDLP, and then all HDLP applications are reviewed by the Affordable Housing Review Board. And so there's just some of the CHODO requirements there on the screen.
CHODO stands for?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Community Housing Development Organization. So it's local developers. Yeah, I usually have that on there, but I don't think I have that broken down, so I apologize for that. And on the right side of the screen, you'll see how the home funds break down. Lastly, for the Emergency Solutions Grant, this can be 3 different sources here. I mean, services that we have: homeless services, which includes shelter operations, outreach, essential services, those kind of things. That's capped at 60%. We have homeless prevention, that's rent and utilities. It's just like it sounds. So it's to prevent individuals from going into homelessness. And then the rapid rehousing program, which provides short-term rents and utility assistance to homeless persons. We'll start with homeless prevention. I mentioned a few minutes ago when the CDBG Public Services dollars went out for applications, so did the ESG. $50,000 in ESG funding went out. We received only 1 application for that funding. And after that application was reviewed, it's reviewed by housing staff and also the Continuum of Care staff. Both deemed that application was not eligible to receive homeless prevention programming. For 26-27, the Housing and Community Services Department will operate the homeless prevention program out of our office. I apologize.
Did the center folk not apply for that? They have in the past.
They have in the past, yeah. We only got
Why didn't
one.
they apply this time?
I'm not sure, yeah.
They have a new director, so maybe.
Yeah.
Shuffle.
Yeah, so when that went out, that application went out, obviously we shared it with all of our community partners, with the coalition, homeless coalition, the Continuum of Care, and we got one application. So,
I serve on the COC board. We were shocked that we didn't see, and actually people did reach out and there was a response.
Still, I'll be done.
And I don't know, because we've received feedback before, it's only, I say only, but it's $50,000. And so we've got some feedback about how, there's a lot of administrative burden for $50,000 worth of funds. And so I don't know if that frightens people away from applying for it, but, federal funds are, can be kind of cumbersome. So I'm thinking that might play a part in it as well. So homeless assistance, $316,893. This is for encampment and unsheltered coordination services. We have some funding left over from last year that we're putting with that. So that's why that total is what it is. Rapid rehousing, $35,000. Again, that's funding available for rent and utility assistance for individuals that are literally homeless. This enables them to move into permanent housing. And also with ESG, we have program administration, and you'll see how that breaks down. So as mentioned, we're in our public comment period. It started March 27th and it runs through midnight, May 4th. May 5th, we will be at City Council for the public hearing and council approval, hopefully. DAB meetings, hit up DAB 1 last week, and then tonight, like I said, doing the DAB hop. My supervisor is at District 1, so he's got that one, holding that one down tonight. And then next week we're at 2 and 6. We're aiming to submit this plan to HUD no later than May 15th of 2026. And so at this time, it's recommended that the District Advisory Board provide comment or feedback. Comments can be made right now in person. They can be emailed to me. That says Andrew, that's my city name. I go by Ryan. It's kind of confusing. So I don't ever know what to introduce myself as. So, but you can call me, you can send me a letter if you want to. Stamps are kind of expensive, so I would just recommend emailing or calling. And then the full draft is available on our website as well. You're welcome to view that. And so at this time, if anybody has any feedback, questions, anything, I'll be happy to take that.
Clarification.
Sure.
Non-congregate housing, the $4 million, whatever, that's for the non-congregate housing that is adjacent to the second light. Correct.
What is that? What is non-congregate housing?
It's like individual spaces. So like you have your congregate shelter where it's like maybe a one room and everybody's in one room, but the non-congregate is more like apartments.
Kind of like efficiency apartments.
Yeah.
And it's really intended to be that next level of, as people become more stable and you're transitioning, be able to get used to.
Is there any funding in anything you talk about? I'm specifically thinking about like the first time homeowner assistance or like you're about to be homeless. I don't remember the names.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Is there any funding for like marketing or getting the word out there, or what's, like, how do people know about that?
So that's a good question. When things are going on, we try to push it out to like our partners, to let them know what funding is available. I haven't heard as far as if we should do or plan on doing any kind of social media campaigns or anything like that. But like with the first time home buyer, that's I probably didn't mention. So the first time home buyer stuff ties directly into the HDLP. And so for those that, are renting or are buying these units that were developed through the HDLP program, that's a home buyer program is offered exclusively to them.
Okay.
And so years ago, it used to be just anyone, but it's tied to that exclusively now.
First time home buyers know that's available. Is that something you communicate with to banks?
Yeah, so like,
Say,
well, I'm sorry, yeah. So like the cholos that are working in this program, like they're all clued in and they pass that along to the ones that are renting or buying, or not renting, they can't do it, but buying the units. They're looped in that way. And then I believe like what you mentioned, like it's tied in with some of the banks too that maybe offer that, but it's mostly through the cholos that we're working with to develop these properties.
Even realtors have that information to be able to help people that they know are coming and looking for a house, be their first home, and they are struggling with the down payment.
Yeah, and I'll get clarification on that too, and let you know if you'd like me to, about as far as how that's kind of pushed out.
I may even get with our marketing part.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
See if they can push it out on Facebook or Twitter or something.
Mm-hmm.
Citywide.
about some of the other dollars, so the rapid rehousing dollars, revenue assistance dollars. Many of the people who are experiencing those issues right now are already handled by a case manager from one of those many nonprofits that works across the system. And all of those agencies are very familiar with where these dollars sit and how they use.
Real favor sitting on the committee, there were $900,000 worth of grants that were submitted to us, and we had only $475,000 to allocate. And it was really difficult because there were some fantastic programs that we had. And to see, you know, we want to spread the money around as much as we can, but to see a program that you know is so worthwhile to our youth or to our people in need and not have the funds to be able to do it was so eye-opening for me to be on. And then too, as a committee, you know, as a committee to agree on what we felt was a value and a need.
Yeah, that was a tough, it was a tough job for you guys for sure. It's not easy.
And we were looking at little dollars. I mean, we were saying, okay, if we take this and we get this percent, that we have like this much money, and we're talking about small dollars that would actually go from one to the other. If we took 10% from here and we put it over here, and the lowest amount we could get was $50,000. So we couldn't make anything less than 50. So it was really, it's really a difficult process where we all tried to come together and agree as a committee of what we felt was the most value for the funds that we have. So many worthwhile projects.
Yeah, I didn't envy y'all having to make those decisions. So that's why I was like, I definitely appreciate you and the rest of the committee for sure, because it wasn't easy. So
Brian, those organizations who do not get selected, is there a robust process that they get feedback in terms of why their application wasn't accepted so that they can build upon for the next time out?
yeah, so that's a good question. So with the ESG one, the one applicant that did apply, our department reached out to them and let them know exactly what, you know, what held their application back. And so, and for the public services, I delivered that news for the applicant that did not get any funding at all. I personally delivered that news, which wasn't fun either, but again, just giving that feedback to them was something that we need to do, obviously, and we did. So
Asking for $100,000 or more and then just receiving 50 of that means that they then have to shuffle in order to try to find the fund and other sources. So.
yeah, and that wasn't fun news to deliver either. Let them know that their funding was cut either. So that was it wasn't much of a fun process for any of us, I don't think so.
But we are thankful that we have the money that we
for sure.
have to give what we can give to those organizations.
Yeah, for sure.
There really wasn't much change from the previous year either in terms of the allocations to these organizations.
Some of them were pretty much spot on. There was a few that took some hits for sure. But yeah, you're right. It's pretty close to kind of how it's been too.
So is it fair for me to assess that that's pretty standard practice for all of the organizations that they submit an application and they don't receive any funding, that they get feedback in terms of understanding why their application?
It's supposed to be. Yeah, yes, sir. And if there's ever any, you know, questions and that they don't feel were answered, they can definitely reach out and we can provide more clarity on that. Yeah. Yeah.
Community needs and funding priorities for 2026.
Thank you all. Yeah, thank you so much. Good questions and feedback. Appreciate it.
So then we move into our adjournment. Our next District 5 Advisory Board meeting is scheduled for 6 p.m. on Monday, May 4th, 2026. Same spot at the favorite Pleasant Branch Library. Guys have a great night. Enjoy the game. Told you we'd make it. 7:30.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you, Grace.
Yes.
Got it. Mary, I mean, Mary.